Over the past couple months, in an effort to expand my anime knowledge, I embarked on a journey to watch as many anime as I can. Some of them long, some of them short, some of them good, and some of them bad. This video is going to be about a few of the anime I've watched over the past couple of months, and a couple editions from further back that I just do not think are talked about enough, and I think are just far better than most people give them credit for. So to those of you watching this video, next time you're looking for something to watch, maybe one of these will pique your interest. These are in no particular order, and of course, this is my opinion. Whether you agree or disagree, please like the video and comment below. Up first, we are going to start off hot with Erased. Erased is not only potentially my favorite on this list, but it is also highly ranked on my personal favorite anime list. Erased is a dark thriller that takes a bit of brain power to fully comprehend. It has an incredibly unique story, characters, and a beautiful style. I sat down with a friend to watch this a couple years ago just to see what it was, and we ended up binging the entire show in a day. Erased was a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Kei Sanbi. It was serialized in Kadokawa Shoten's Young Ace magazine from June 2012 to March 2016 and is licensed in English by Yen Press. An anime adaptation by A1 Pictures aired on Fuji TV's Noitama programming block from January to March of 2016. Erased is set in 2006, where a 29-year-old named Satoru Fujinuma, who is struggling mangaka living in Chiba, possesses an involuntary ability known as revival. This ability sends his consciousness back in time, usually a few minutes before a life-threatening incident, whether it involves him or somebody around him, enabling him to try and prevent whatever it was from happening in the first place. When his mother ends up murdered by an unknown assailant in his own home, Satoru's ability ends up sending him back 18 years into the past, and Satoru is given the opportunity to not only save his mother, but also prevent a serial killer from taking the lives of 3 of his childhood friends, including a young girl from another school. If you are a fan of fun yet dark, mysterious, and thrilling storylines with incredible art and a beautiful story, then I highly recommend you give Erased a shot. It is a shorter anime that will have you hooked and on the edge of your seat from the very beginning. Next, we are moving into the isekai genre with That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Everybody who watches anime has had the experience where you finish a great show and just throw on some random 12-episode show or isekai to pass the time until you find something else to watch. Well, that is exactly how I happened upon this show. Even knowing what to expect, walking into it and knowing it was an isekai, I was still thoroughly impressed by how much I enjoyed it. So much so that I've actually rewatched it a second time since. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime is a Japanese fantasy novel series written by Fuse and illustrated by Mitzvah. It was later acquired by Micro Magazine, which published the first light novel volume in 2014. As of January 2025, 22 chapters have been released. The light novel has been licensed in North America by Yen Press, who published the first volume in December of 2017. It got a manga adaptation published by Kodansha, along with 5 manga spin-off published respectively by Micro Magazine and Kodansha. The story follows Satoru Mikami, who is an ordinary 37-year-old corporate worker living in Tokyo. While out meeting a colleague for lunch, an assailant tries to stab his friend. Satoru pushes his friend out of the way and gets stabbed instead. While he lays there succumbing to his injuries, a mysterious voice echoes in his mind and asks a series of questions. In response to Satoru's answers, the voice grants him various gifts and powers to use in the next life. After regaining consciousness, Satoru discovers that they have been reincarnated as a slime in an unfamiliar fantasy world. At the same time, they also acquire newfound skills, particularly this ability called Predator, which allows them to devour anything and mimic its appearance and skill. They stumble upon Veldora, a powerful storm dragon who has been sealed for the last 300 years for reducing a town to ashes. Feeling sorry for him, Satoru befriends the dragon, promising to help him in destroying the seal. They decide to exchange names. Veldora bestows upon them the name Rimuru, and he receives the surname Tempest in return. Rimuru then consumes the dragon together with his prison in order to analyze the spell and eventually make an attempt to free Veldora. The disappearance of Veldora's aura creates a power vacuum, which Rimuru has to carefully navigate or risk serious issues with surrounding areas. This show is a little something for everybody. If you are into overpowered main characters, it's got that. Do you like chill fantasy vibe without all of the explosions and bright colors? It's got that too. Are you a fan of extremely diverse cast of characters that all bring their own individuality to the show? Overall, if you are bored and looking for a show to watch that's going to leave you pleasantly surprised, even if isekai aren't really your thing, then That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime might just be for you. Next, we are going to talk about Hell's Paradise. I found this anime in the same way I found the last two, which is going to be a trend in this video. I was scrolling through anime and I had seen the cover a few time, so I decided to give it a try. When I did, I watched the entire first season in a day and immediately told my friends they have to watch it. Hell's Paradise is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Yuji Kaku. It was serialized weekly for free on the Shonen Jump Plus application and website from January 2018 to January 2021. It was simultaneously published in English on Manga Plus online platform, while Viz Media licensed it for digital and print release in North America. So far, there are 13 episodes in season 1, with the second season currently slated for January 2026. Set in the Edo period of Japan, it follows the ninja Gabimaru and the executioner Yamada Asaemon Sagiri as they search for the elixir of immortality. After being captured during an assassination mission, Gabimaru the Hollow is sentenced to be executed, but no matter what they try, nothing seems to kill him due to his superhuman body. Believing his love for his wife to be subconsciously keeping him alive, executioner Yamada Asaemon Sagiri offers him the chance to be pardoned of all his crimes by the shogunate if he finds the elixir of life on Shinsenkyo, a legendary realm recently discovered southwest of the Ryukyu Kingdom. After losing 5 expedition teams sent to the island, this time the shogunate sends a group of death row convicts. The convicts are each given a Yamada Asaemon executioner who they must return with in order to obtain the pardon. The show's incredible, it's deep and intense. However, if you don't like gore and violence, it's probably not for you. But if you like well choreographed fight scenes, moral dilemmas, creatively designed enemies, and a story that just gets deeper and deeper the more you watch, please give it a shot. I've watched a lot of anime, very few have had me hooked the way that Hell's Paradise did. You know it's good when the worst part about the show is that you have to wait another year to watch more. Next, we are heading back to the world of isekai, and we're going to talk a little about ReZero. This is a great show that takes a typical isekai tropes like overpowered main characters and a game-like abilities and level up system and twists them into a show that keeps the fun lightheartedness of isekai but manages to find a way to bring in a bit more darkness and intensity. ReZero, Starting Life in Another World, often referred to simply as ReZero, is a Japanese light novel series written by Tappei Nakatsuki and illustrated by Shinichiro Utsuka. It started serialization as a web novel in 2012. 39 light novels as well as 6 side story volumes and 11 short story collections have been published by Media Factory. The story centers on Subaru Natsuki, a shut-in of sorts who suddenly finds himself transported to another world on his way home from the convenience store. The novels and all 3 manga adaptations are published in North America by Yen Press. The anime adaptation has been streamed by Crunchyroll outside of Asia, which released the anime on home video through Funimation in the United States and Anime Limited in the United Kingdom. The overall series has over 13 million copies in circulation by March 2023, while the anime series had sold more than 70,000 copies on home video. The light novels have been praised for their fresh take on the Another World concept, fleshed out characters and complex world and lore, thought-provoking topics and themes. Subaru Natsuki is a self-isolating shut-in who is suddenly summoned to a fantasy-like world. Just after arriving, he is killed while trying to help a young half-elf he befriends, Emilia, who is a candidate to become the next ruler of the kingdom of Lagunica, only to revive some hours in the past. After going through this process a few times, Subaru realizes that he has an uncontrollable power to turn back time after his death. After successfully helping Emilia, Subaru starts living in one of the mansions of Roswell L. Mathers as a butler. Out of gratitude and affection for Emilia, Subaru makes use of his newfound ability to protect her and help on her ambition to be successfully appointed as the next queen, also providing assistance to other friends he makes along the way, while suffering due to the pain inflicted on him every time he dies and carrying along the memories of everything that's happened before his powers activate, which is forgotten by everybody except for him. If you are a fan of isekai but want something that strays a little bit from the norm of the genre, then ReZero is definitely worth the watch. Next, we're going to talk about Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. This is a fun isekai that just really couldn't be more of an isekai, but it's done really well to me. It's got an easy to watch art style, the jokes are funny, and rivalries somewhat relatable. Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy is a Japanese light novel series written by Kei Azumi and illustrated by Mitsuaki Matsumoto. It began serialization online in 2012, but was later acquired in 2016 by Alpha Polis, who have published the series since May of 2013. Hanasashi Media has licensed the light novel for an English release. The anime TV series adaptation aired from July to September of 2021, and a second season aired from January to June of 2024. A third season has in fact been announced. Unlike most of the titles on this list, this one isn't quite as serious as the rest. It has good humor with funny characters that work extremely well together, and when you finish, you will immediately want more. Now, I do admit this is definitely not the best anime of all time, but I do think it is really fun and doesn't get nearly enough credit. Next is another one of my favorites on this list, and that is Frieren. And this is an interesting addition to this list because it's actually talked about quite a bit. However, despite that, I still don't think it's getting enough credit. I've watched Frieren so many times and there isn't that much of it to watch. It's beautiful, it's relaxing, the characters are funny and have incredible chemistry, and the story being told is simple yet deep and ever developing. Frieren Beyond Journey's End is a manga series written by Kanehito Yamada and illustrated by Tsukasa Abe. It has been serialized in Shogakukan's Shonen Manga Magazine Weekly Shonen Sunday since April 2020. Its chapters have been collected in 13 volumes as of April 2024 and is licensed for English release in North America by Viz Media and in Southeast Asia by Shogakukan Asia. This series follows the elven mage Frieren, who is a former member of a party of adventurers who defeated the Demon King and restored harmony to the world after a 10-year quest. The party also consists of the human hero Himmel, the dwarven warrior Eisen, and the human priest Heiter. Before they part, they observe the era meteors and meteor shower that occurs once every 50 years. Frieren agrees to see the group again and offers them an improved view for the next occurrence of the era meteors. Frieren departs and travels the world in pursuit of magical knowledge. 50 years later, Frieren returns to the capital to watch the meteors with her former party and finds that in her absence humanity has changed and her former companions have aged. After one last adventure to go see the meteor shower, Himmel passes away of old age. During his funeral, Frieren expresses guilt for not attempting to learn more about him. She visits her former comrades, and when she finds out there's a chance for her to make amends for something she deeply regrets, she sets off on a journey with Fern and Stark, who are students of her former party members, to achieve her goal and retrace the steps of her 10-year voyage to defeat the Demon King. Frieren is a beautiful story with incredibly strong morals that I imagine most people could relate to in some way, shape, or form. It's a calm fantasy adventure story that I think more or less everybody would love. I hope more people watch it, especially with the second season already having been confirmed by Studio Madhouse. Lastly, we are going to be heading back to the world of isekai with one of the sillier ones on this list, and that would be So I'm a Spider, So What? This is a fun show that follows the typical isekai tropes, as in somebody gets transferred to a fantasy realm, becomes overpowered with a game-style leveling system. However, the difference is the main character in the story is a spider. So I'm a Spider, So What is a Japanese light novel isekai series written by Okinababa and illustrated by Tsukasa Kiryu. The story takes place in a world where the battle between hero and demon lord repeat itself time and time again. An enormous space-time spell misfired and hit a certain Japanese high school class on Earth, killing everybody in it. However, guided by what seemed to be a miracle, the students were all reincarnated into another world. While a handful were fortunate enough to become royalty, nobles, and other kinds of influential people, one girl was not so lucky, being reborn as a cave spider monster of the weakest kind in a dungeon filled with vicious beasts. She is forced to experience extreme hardship. Even so, armed with nothing but her human knowledge and overwhelming positivity, she continues to press on and survive against creatures much stronger than herself. If you like isekai or are just looking for silly change of pace, So I'm a Spider, So What should definitely be on your radar. That is going to be all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope you check some of these out. Next time you are in between anime, not sure what to watch, think about this video, give one of these a try. Hopefully you won't be disappointed. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let me know any other anime you'd like me to talk about, any anime recommendations you think I should watch, and I can make videos about later on. Whatever you want to see, write it in the comments. I will do my very best to get you guys what you want. But with that, I will see you next time.